Oh my love, you're such a fragile thing, I know. And with the winter comes
we are getting our first snow.
But I'm here at all.
Yay!
And oh my love, don't worry about the cold just yet. The trees haven't started to shed. Just feel the summer sun as it warms our bed. I'm lying, and I'm lying when I say
Hello everybody, happy Saturday. So today we had our first snow day. That is so exciting always for the kids. They get so excited. Luke could not wait to go start throwing snowballs. Even though we only got like a half an inch, he gathered up snow for snowballs. But it's still super exciting, that first day of snow. And the menu for tonight is we are having a orange cranberry chicken or pork chops in the crock pot. So super easy. I make some homemade bread. I'm actually gonna make bread, but I'm gonna make one loaf, regular bread, so that we have it for, that way we have it for just regular bread. The other loaf of bread, I'm gonna turn it into a cinnamon bread so that we can have that for dessert, along with a little bit of cake that's left from yesterday. And then we're also gonna have bacon wrapped green beans. Sorry, I'm trying to think of everything. And some roasted potatoes and roasted sweet potatoes. That's the plan for tonight. And also, real quick, a couple people did ask me on yesterday's video about my plans for Thanksgiving. Do I have a separate budget for that? I do not have a separate budget for that. Actually, this year we did buy a turkey. We bought one, it was 3 or 4 weeks ago. I shared that with you guys. I wanted to make sure we had one. We did not grow our own. Next year we will be raising our own turkeys for Thanksgiving. This year we did not. We are also going to use, I put aside some of the potatoes that we grew here on our farm, and some of the sweet potatoes we grew here, some corn we grew here, and I grew some pie pumpkins, so I'm going to cook that down, and we're going to have homemade pumpkin pie. I'm also going to make a vanilla pie and a chocolate pie. And then the following day I have to make a carrot cake, because the day after Thanksgiving is my mother's birthday, so we'll make a carrot cake then. And I'm gonna have everybody here for like 4 days, so that'll be delightful. But I'm gonna have stuffing. I got cranberries probably about 3 weeks ago when they were on sale, and they last forever in the fridge. They're still fine. I just used some today. I have another bag to make cranberry sauce. So yeah, I keep a very stocked pantry of all baking type stuff. So I have tons of flour, sugar, baking powder, salt, that kind of stuff, so that I always have what I need to make whatever kind of treats or breads or anything like that, always in the house. And then we also, because we had done a whole pig this year, we have a couple hams in the freezer, so I'm not sure if we're gonna do ham this year or turkey. We haven't decided. It's up in the air. We'll do one for Christmas and one for Thanksgiving. Which way we wanna go, we're not sure. Up, I hear Theo yelling. So we're gonna use a lot of our own homegrown stuff this year. And next year, hopefully even more of our Thanksgiving. It would be fabulous if it could just be all stuff we grew on our farm and raised ourselves, and really, truly be grateful for everything in our harvest that we harvested. I think that would be very cool. But this year it's probably gonna be 50-50. But yeah, no, I do not have a separate budget. Long story short, I will only spend $50 next week, or I have $100 for the rest of the month. So I think it was $102 is what I told you guys yesterday. I will stay within that, and we will still have a wonderful feast for Thanksgiving. All right, let's go on and get started real quick. We're gonna start by getting this stuff in the crock pot. Tonight I am just doing a crock pot dinner. We are gonna make these orange cranberry pork chops. So I'm just starting with my little boneless pork chops. To this, I'm gonna add some salt, some pepper, about a cup of fresh cranberry, just plain old cranberries, a little bit of orange juice, some minced garlic, some honey, kind of drizzling it over the top, and just a handful of raisins, just a little bit more. That's what it looks like, and now I'm going to turn this on low and cook it all day. All right, while that's going, we're going to go on and make the bread. That's been going actually for a while now. We need to make the bread so that that can rise and get going. All right, now it is time for water, or I'm sorry, for the bread. I'm adding 2 cups of warm water. I have shared this bread recipe many times, but I was asked again for it. So I'm showing you again. I'm gonna put in 2 tablespoons of yeast, and then about a tablespoon of sugar. I'm just gonna stir this together. Now I'm just gonna let this sit for about 5 to 10 minutes until it's nice and foamy. Okay, now it's nice and bubbly. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of olive oil. Again, I just kind of guess this. And then about a teaspoon of salt. And I'm gonna do about 5 cups of flour. Just going to knead that on low so it's nice and kneaded through. Then I just want to feel it. I want it to be a little sticky and a little moist. I don't want it super dry. If it's too sticky or moist, you can always knead it a little longer. Like this. Or you can always add a little more flour or add a little more water. I'm gonna just knead this for a few more minutes. Sorry, I know this is really loud. And then I'm gonna set it over to rise. Now that's done, I'm just gonna cover it and let this rise for today. It's very cold, probably about an hour and a half. So as I was talking about potatoes, my husband brought me in 3 potatoes. I grew purple and yellow potatoes this year. And I'm gonna add these to my pile downstairs. Also something we have is acorn squash down there that I'm gonna make sure that we get those as well. But these are growing in our compost pile. Somehow they magically made it alive back there. So he brought it in and said, what better gift to give my farming wife other than potatoes? Better than flowers. So I'm gonna add these to what we have down there for Thanksgiving. All right, it is 4:30. This dough is nice and puffy. I'm gonna punch it down and divide it into 2 loaves. All right, so now it's time to do this. I'm gonna start by spraying my 2 loaf pans. And then I also, as you see on my board over here, that is to make the cinnamon. I'm gonna punch down my bread, pull it out. I'm gonna divide it into 2. I'm gonna put one over here. And then I like to just kind of flatten it a little bit, best I can. And then I just roll it. You guys can see that. I'm just kind of rolling it. And that is a plain loaf of bread. It's gonna sit here and it'll rise again. Now for the cinnamon raisin bread. That one I'm gonna take and I'm gonna try and really just kind of pull it. Doesn't have to be perfect because I'm just gonna roll it up. You could use a rolling pin if you want. I am not. Then I've got some softened butter here. I always have butter out in the butter dish. I'm gonna take probably all of that, and it's nice and soft. I'm just gonna spread it all over my bread here. Then I'm just gonna take brown sugar, put some on the top. You could add raisins if you wanted. I am not adding raisins. I'm just pushing it down a little so it'll stick. You could omit the brown sugar and just do raisins and cinnamon. That's good too. You could not do the butter if you didn't want to, make it cheaper. You could do a little oil. Now I'm just doing some cinnamon here. Then I'm gonna roll this up. Kind of pinch the seam a little bit. Just kind of help hold it together. Pinch the ends a little bit. And then seam side down, I'm gonna put it in my dish here. And then I'm gonna cover these two up and let them rise. Let them rise again. All right, while that is rising, I'm gonna go on and preheat my oven to probably 350, maybe 400. I'm gonna go on and get the potatoes. I decided to go on and, here I'll show you, use a few of our potatoes. And then I'm gonna use a few sweet potatoes and cook those up, probably a little onion, toss them with some olive oil and salt and pepper and pop them in the oven while the bread's rising. All right, I'm just gonna cut these up, like I said, and these are actually all from our garden, the sweet potatoes. If you saw one of my previous videos, I told you about I lost so many sweet potatoes because we did not cure them correctly, even though we had a beautiful sweet potato harvest. So for that, we will, that one is no good. We will have to figure that out for next year, how we can better do the onions and the sweet potatoes. We lost both. So I'm gonna use a store-bought red onion, unfortunately, because I did grow a lot of beautiful onions. I had onion braids going. They were beautiful, but they didn't cure right. That was our fault. So next year we will do better. But these, our regular potatoes, did great. And look, I mean, do you see the color in that? That is just, that's amazing. They're just amazing. And if anybody is curious, purple tomato or potatoes to me, I think they taste just the same as a regular potato. But they definitely would have different nutrients due to the color. And I did get some that were tiny. So I'm just chopping them all up. If you guys want to start letting me know what you make for dinner, I would love to know. Always looking for new ideas. The sweet potatoes were the same. Like I said, so the onions, what we did is we put them under, or in our greenhouse. So it was hot and humid. Well, they did not like that. They preferred to be in a dry place. Well, the sweet potatoes we put in a dry and place, and we put them under a heat lamp because they need to be warm. Well, they like humidity, so we just kind of got those mixed up and backwards. And then I'll toss all this in here. I'm gonna break that onion up a little bit more. And just toss that with some olive oil. And I'm going to top it with a little garlic salt. Some dried parsley, and I'm going to pop this in the oven. Okay, so next I'm gonna go on and get together my bacon wrapped green beans. While this is still rising nicely, if you can see over here, that's looking beautiful. But I'm gonna let it continue to rise a little more while we are waiting on the potatoes to cook. So I'm just gonna start with some bacon, and I'm gonna cut it in half. You might want to cut yours even smaller than a half, because my bacon, because of it being, I guess, from a smaller pig, it is just smaller pieces. Then I'm just going to take like a little handful of green beans. It's like 4 of them. Wrap them in some bacon and kind of just lay it down like that. I'm going to top this with a little bit of brown sugar. And some salt. And pepper. This in the oven while the potatoes are finishing. These roasted veggies. Give them a quick little stir. Just want to make sure they're all the way cooked through. And of course they are beautifully cooked through. Okay, next we're gonna take our beautiful bread over here that is ready. And I have this egg wash here. It's just 1 egg. I'm gonna change the oven to 350. I cooked that on 375. And it's just egg and water. And I'm gonna put just a little egg wash on here. This will be nice and brown on top. And now I'm gonna go on and get these in the oven. The bacon wrapped green beans are still cooking. Alright, so here is our dinner then tonight. There's the pork chops, bacon wrapped green beans, potatoes and sweet potatoes, fresh bread, and I cut that one so you guys could see the cinnamon bread. So good. That's our dessert tonight. And that's it. See you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.